We've got a beagle that detects breast cancer.
What?
Yeah, don't ask me the hard question on that, brother. You
Yeah.
research, but yeah, it detects breast cancer in women before science can even detect. That's just that innate ability that they have.
Welcome to NWA Connie Corsos podcast, where we talk all things dogs.
All right, y'all. We back for another one. This time we got Pastor Mike Green in the house from North Carolina, Cottonville Road, Legacy. How you doing, Mike?
Man, I'm doing good, bro. I appreciate the invitation. Appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Yes, sir. We was busy as heck, but we made it happen, didn't we?
That's right.
Yeah. Man, let's just start out this way. Now, who is Mr. Billy Green?
That's my father.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you credit him being like your greatest influence. What is like the single most important lesson about a dog's character that you learn from him that can't be found in a textbook?
Whew. Oh man, that is an awesome question, because the most important thing about a dog's character, I believe it, and when we talk about character, we're talking about that dog and who that dog is, right? Mm-hmm. And like, I know this dog for this thing, and I think that the most important characteristic that you can find in most really good dogs, whether it be hog dogs, rabbit dogs, deer dogs, or whatever, is their loyalty to serve and to please.
Right.
And he always believed that if you had a dog that wouldn't look you in the eye, you couldn't trust his loyalty. And, you know, a lot of dogs, you look them in the eye and they'll look away. Now, I'm not talking about the stare down, because we know that's
right.
kind of gets into the psychological part of dogs. Right. But as far as the dog, when you're given a command and that dog looks at you and recognizes these things, and he's loyal to that. And so I think one of the greatest characteristics you can have, and he would say, would be the loyalty of any given dog.
So you grew up around dogs. Dad was a dog man, born and bred into it, huh?
Oh yeah, fourth generation beagler.
How many generations?
Four generations. Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. And not just me. I'm not the only one on that fourth line. I've got cousins and all that are also beaglers as well.
Right.
Yep.
And you got. I don't know. You got a daughter, but you got other kids too.
Yep. I got 5 kids in total.
Okay, and they in the dogs too, I bet.
Well, you know, they're in that time in their life right now where it's, you know, hey, Dad, you know, are you going to go run dogs on Tuesday? I got time to go, you know. And so, but yeah, they've been in it their whole life. I've got my 9-year-old right now. I'm training. She's actually learning to train obedience right now. Mm-hmm. And then I've got one daughter. She's actually headed to vet school, and she hadn't selected which one, but thank the good Lord, she's been accepted to 2 really good vet schools in the nation right now.
Oh, cool.
And so she's going. I got one son in nursing school, one daughter that's in school to be a teacher, and then my other son, he's actually stationed in Germany with the United States Army.
So did you look at it, man? Great job, brother. Great job. Did you look at coming up around dogs just like, oh, I'm just doing this with my dad? Was it ever a moment say, hey, man, I'm a dog, man. I do this. You know what I mean?
Man, I don't know the answer to that. I just know I've had a lead strap since I could walk.
Right.
And man, I remember when we were young, and we grew up poor, right? And so I remember my dad, he would work during the day to build houses. He would come in from building houses. He would get ready. He would go down to the hosiery mill, and he would work there until 11 o'clock or 10:30 at night on second shift, right? He was a fixer at the hosiery mill. And so he would get off from there, and then he would come home. And back in my younger years, he drank a little bit, right? And so he would come in and he'd go to the refrigerator and he'd get this tall stovepipe Budweiser that I don't even know if they even make them anymore. I don't drink, but he bought this tall stovepipe, and I was just little, right? And I would remember many a night going out the door, but Dad didn't have a kennel. Dad had a dog lot, all right? And so he'd bust the door on that dog lot and send those beagles down across the farm. And I remember many nights going out with him and then and listening to the dogs run, and then waking up in my bed the next morning and not know how I got from the woods back to the bed, because he would carry me back to the house.
Right.
I'd fall asleep in his lap, listening to the dogs run.
Wow.
And so the earliest memory that I have of that was around kindergarten or pre-kindergarten, somewhere in that age is about the earliest memory that I have of doing that. So yeah, man, I was just born into it, so legacy of beagles is just born into,
Right. So I guess you have been keeping the lines, or did you incorporate your own style of lines as you develop with your dogs?
Yeah, man, I went, Joe, I'll tell you, man, I went completely away from my dad's style, once I got up, my career got going. So I only went about 6 years without beagles in my life, and that was the early years of the kids and career and things of that nature. And when I got back into it, I had my own pack up until then. It was a mixture between grade dogs and registered dogs, And the guys that are running on here, when you say grade dogs, or anybody knows that, so it's just an unregistered hound or dog in general. And so I went completely away from my dad's Warfield Reds, Cranks Chicken and things like that he ran back in the 70s and the 80s, I went completely away from that, and I went north and to the Hounds and the more run to catch style dog. And so I would love to be able to say, oh yeah, I've kept up this generational bloodline for years and years and years, but I did not, because those dogs never really suited me, right? I always wanted faster dogs, didn't want my dad had. Nothing again, I respect all bloodlines and all styles, but it just wasn't for me, you know what I mean?
So you said you went up north. Where'd you go to Canada? Like Canadian blood? Okay. Yep. So right there. So when you say it's different types, is it different lines that have different strengths? Like I know you said fast, maybe one that might track a little better. Okay.
Yeah. There's a plethora of different things, and the guys that are houndsmen and beaglers that'll watch this, they're gonna know what I'm talking about here. In the beagle world, all men are created equal. All beagles are not, and that's just the bottom line. You man says my dog runs a 5. Well, we got to know what 5 that is. Is that a slow 5, a medium 5, or a fast 5? Because you take take 3 men with each of those dogs, and you put them together, you got 3 different races going. They're going to be completely different in their hunt style, in their check style, recovery, everything. It's going to be completely different. So, going back to to make a point, here's what I would say: northern and southern bred beagles all do the same job. They just do it in a different way. Your southern bred dogs, your Chop Talk bloodline, your Rob Diamond 2 stuff, your older Buckshot Jones stuff, it's going to be a lot more cleaner, a lot more methodical on the line. They're going to line that thing up and like a row of baby ducks, and they're just going to pop 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 pop, and they're just going to ease down through there, and they're going to keep that track between their legs. When they get to a point and they don't know if he went left or he went right, they're going to sit there and they're just going to pop 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 pop, and then they'll figure it out, and then they'll start moving again, And that brace dog style stuff, it's a little bit, it's just like that. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Right.
And a lot of those dogs will never see a rabbit out in front of them. Like they'll never catch up to the game to look at him. Their best bet of seeing a rabbit is if he sets down and they sneak up on him and he jumps up and runs. I mean, that's pretty much it. No offense. Anybody that's listening to me, y'all know my heart on this. Then you got your medium speed, right? So you got slow, medium, and fast. In the slow range, you got 10 speeds. In the medium, you got 10 speeds, and in the fast, you got 10 speeds. Now, so the and it's no offense to the Beagle to say that it's slow, because that's what it is. And you take that bloodline and mirror it up against something like Fox Creek or Branco or something like that. It's slow in what it does, but it's more methodical, right?
Right.
They're gonna make less mistakes, right?
Right.
So, then you go to the medium style dog, right?
Right.
Your Wire Creek, your Gay Blood, Oak Hill, Green Bay stuff. Some of the Black Creek bloodlines, they're going to be more in your medium range, right? And you're going to have slower and you're going to have faster in that. And it just depends on the dog and depends on the breeding and the training, you know. But in the innate instinct of those dogs, they're going to be slotted pretty strong in that medium spot right there.
Right.
Now, you come out of that and you go into the faster dogs. Branco, probably one of the Branco is the most well-known, most loved, and most hated bloodline that there is out there.
Branco's Alibaba.
Yeah, Branco's Alibaba is so Branco is Branco Capon up in Canada.
Okay.
He's the breeder of that, right? So that's his name on all of those dogs, right?
Gotcha.
So you take like Alibaba, you know, he's world renowned. I mean, he was a reproducer. I've got one of his grandsons now that came off of a frozen sperm cross. That's how much I like that stuff. But the Branco stuff is going to be your most well-known in the world, really. And people will argue this, and that's fine. They can argue it, but I'll say this. There never has been, nor will there ever be another Beagle breeder like Branco and his wife, Frida. 50-year line breeding program. Who does that, right? When I ran a podcast, I had them on my podcast, right? And I mean, just their knowledge and the years of experience that they have is just mind-blowing. And so, but that's one of the most popular bloodlines. That's what I run a lot of, is the Branco bloodline that I have here at Cottonville Road. Then you got Northway. Northway is that goes way back. That kind of morphed into Reffitt's blood, which is Dexter Reffitt's up in Kentucky. He took that and ran with that for years. Awesome bloodline. You've got Fox Creek. You've got not Bold Stroke, but Bold Stroke's a good one too. But Big Meadows dogs bloodline. So those dogs, when you hear in the bigger world, when you hear these different bloodlines, you're going to be like, okay, I know how that dog runs. You know, you just say the name, and when you say it, the person, if they know anything, then they're going to be like, oh yeah, I know how that dog runs. But let me say this: breeding and training. Breeding, you get learned behavior. You get born behavior or genetic behavior, right? And then in training, you get learned behavior, right? So now we're dealing with nature versus nurture, right? So how you're trained versus how your DNA says you're going to do. And so I will say this: in all three of those, though you can't change what the dog is, it's DNA. You can't change DNA with training. I mean, you just can't do it. Right. But with a right breeding program, you can kind of switch it up. And we see that now in the SPO, the Southern SPO, AKC SPO dogs. They're moving a lot faster than they used to versus not as fast as the Northern guys that run hair, because you're looking at hairhound versus cottontail. And that's the way the old timers used to kind of lay it out: hairhound versus cottontail. And that pretty much says it all right there. So, and then you slide the meat dog in there, and it's just like, all right, man. So
yeah, give your dog the best start possible. We offer proven tools, products, and supplements backed by our real-world experience and our passion for healthy dogs. So you said a lot right there, and I'm gonna be a big.
I know it.
Yeah, but hey, look, they're gonna eat that up because whenever you start talking about lions on show, people like, and then I get to learn them. But so do you guys? This is a very old breed, and it's also called a foot hound, right? Or referred to as a foot hound.
They have foot, the hound with foot. You know, I've never really heard them called a foot hound. That may be something that somebody call. You just don't ever know. I mean, everything from state to state, they're called different things.
Yeah,
but mostly they're called hare hounds. The faster dogs are called hare hounds, and not all, but most. As far as the foot in the hound, that refers back to a faster dog. You know.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Faster footed dog.
Right.
Easy dog is gonna. You hear somebody say an easy dog or an easy hound, that's gonna refer down to a slow or more methodical dog.
Okay, so I've been covering dogs almost 3 years now doing this podcast. I'm a nut. I'm crazy. So do y'all have the divide as far as the AKC show and the work side like a lot of other breeds do?
So in the AKC, if you run, you show most of the time. So you do have, it is separate competition, but most of the dogs that go in the field, when they come out of the field, they go to the bench and go ahead and show, and they check them off. It's kind of like an automatic thing with the AKC.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, like UKC, the United Kennel Club, you decide whether you want to show your dog or not, and you can in the AKC too. You can just walk right by the table, right by the bench, and just tell them, "No, I'm good. I don't want to show my dog," and you just go on. But in UKC, it's a whole separate thing, and you pay to be a part of that. You know.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's a different entry fee for that.
Okay, so you guys probably not y'all dogs are working for the majority for the most part of the breed. You don't. I guess what I'm saying is you don't see them going in a lot of pet homes, or is that where most of the coals go? You know, okay.
No, man, it used to be like that. Honestly, 65% of my pups go to pet homes, hospitals, nursing homes, children hospitals, because the Beagle, if it's bred right and it's bred with the versatility that it was supposed to have from the beginning, with the intent. Now they're hard-headed as the devil, but they are very intelligent if they're bred right. And so I have tons that go, man, we've got a Beagle that detects breast cancer.
What?
Yeah, don't ask me the hard question on that, brother. You research, but yeah, it detects breast cancer in women before science can even detect it. That's just that innate ability that they have. Not because it's mine or one that I raised or bred. It's just the Beagle is just that intelligent with their nose.
Right.
We've got one in Huntersville that does the sugar dropping. Diabetics, the sugar drops. It will
insulin. Yeah. Right.
It'll alert on them to let them
detect.
know.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And that keeps them out of diabetic comas.
Right, man. I was talking to you about a buddy of mine down here in Arkansas, and I'm listening to you about all the pet homes that your dogs are going into, and he's a Dogo guy, Brad. We was talking about.
Yeah,
and he said something that always would stick with me, and he got some hard-hitting hog dog. He said a working dog, number one thing he wants to do is please his owner.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right. That goes
So
back to that loyalty. That loyalty.
Right.
Yeah.
You was talking about some of the abilities of detections, the dog's nose. These dogs got a stigma to them too for us being in the laboratories. I don't know much about that. Why were they doing so much lab testing thing? The nose?
Yep. The Beagle has all right, you take a Labrador. Don't quote me on this. I'm not going to give the number, but there's a lab can detect 1 scent out of so many thousand scents, right? They can smell a dead body up to 30 foot underwater. I did some research on why beagles, because I didn't know, man. When I heard about that, I'm like, what the world? These beagles are going in to be lab rats. You know, why is it the beagle? And every answer that I got back, it was the olfactory gland that they have and their ability to distinguish different scents other than human or game or wild or trees or ground, that they can determine that this is a disease. Like I said, with the breast cancer, this is a disease here. My buddy, he got one of our pups. His never trained the dog to do anything. His dogs are both house dog and a hunting dog. So his hunting dogs stay in the house.
Mm-hmm.
His wife had a breast cancer. No idea. The pup kept nudging at her side and scratching at her.
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, she's got breast cancer. Never had to have a treatment. Never had to have anything done. Just went to the doctor, did whatever, like super small little surgery, I guess, and just done. No problem, no nothing.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, so and those that are watching, they might want to do the research, but if you do the research on it, it has a lot to do with the glands in their nose to be able to distinguish and differentiate between these different scents. And it also has something to do, I read something about the beagle heart being different than some other dogs, and how they can use that heart with humans and stuff like that. So, but don't quote me on that, brother, because I'll mess all that up. They'll be calling me talking about you done.
Hey, okay, so I will put you in the hot seat a little bit, and it's kind of off topic, right? But this is something going on in the dog world, right? So they saying that in general, like some of the bigger breeds of dogs, like your Rottweilers, your Dobermans, and all these type of guardian breeds, just ain't what they used to be like 30 years ago. And some people say, well, they should mix in another dog to bring the dog back. In your opinion of being in the beagle a long time, is there any reason to bring in a whole nother breed to fix a breed? Or would you just look inside the dogs that already exist?
Man, that, like, no offense to whoever said that, but man, that don't make no sense. I mean, to put that in an analogy that a human being could think of, that would be like saying, hey, Mike, draw a picture with a crayon, and to fix the picture, you use paint. I mean, you're not going to be able to, it's going to change it completely. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're adding something that's going to cover up and delete things that are supposed to be there. And when we look at the purebred, no matter what breed it is, the problem, in my humble opinion, is that people stop breeding for the characteristics of intelligent, handle, hunt, or loyalty, because they go kind of hand in hand depending on what you're talking about, whether it's Dobermans or Rottweilers or oh man, how'd you say it? Connie
Corsos, yeah.
Connie. I said Kanye.
Hey, we laughing, y'all, because before we even start the interview, he's like, man, I got to ask you a question. How do you say that dog name, man? So yeah. So to add something to that is to create something new. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to fix it. You're just going to make something new and call it that. Now you're just kicking the problem down the road, when you could just go back to the basics, right? Mm-hmm. And just like ourselves here, I've got dogs in the freezer, right? I've got sperm in the freezer that is just waiting on the right opportunity to bring that back, right? To bring it to the front of the line, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what fixes. So when we get so far away from that original where we want to be, what fixes that is reaching back and bringing it back to the front, right? Mm-hmm. And once you bring it back to the front, boom, you're back on track. And it usually only takes one breeding to do that if you have maintained a good, clean line up to that point. Because, look, we're looking at the evolution of breeding. It's going to change, right, as you go through the years. I mean, it has to. Look at humans, you know? Yeah, I was just about to think about even us.
They need to reach back and get some frozen stuff from way back and bring it back.
Yeah. You're a pastor too. We need them Noah years.
That's what we need. We need to go back there.
We ain't living nowhere near what they said.
No, we need to go way back there. You know, people be taller, people be bigger, people be less lazy, whatever we got to do.
Right. So one thing we didn't talk about is, and I apologize, you into the Labrador as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How long you been doing
and labs? I've been raising labs for 20 some years, but we got so busy with the beagles and training and stuff. We just kind of, I still got my lab. Got one running around here in the house, and I got one down at the kennels. But we don't raise as much on the labs as much on that, but any more and like we used to.
Yeah. Give your dog the best start possible. We offer proven tools, products, and supplements backed by our real-world experience and our passion for healthy dogs. Right. Okay. So you mostly focus on the beagle side. Yeah. So man, you do a lot of hunting still, huh?
Oh yeah.
Okay. How do you balance? I know you got your family, but I know they're getting older. I got a younger family, so my son, he's about to be 11, so he helps out a lot. And my mom and my wife, she touches the dog. She ain't scared of no dog. She get out there too. So what I was going to ask is, I lost my thought, but hold on a minute, it's going to come back to me.
You want to know how I balance the kennel, the church, kids, and everything?
That's where I was going. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, first off, above everything, we don't do anything without the strength that the good Lord gives us to be able to do what He's called us to do in our life, right? Yeah. And I believe that every person, man, woman, and child, has a call on their life. You know, Christ even told us that, you know, go and make disciples, right? That's the great commission for us all as believers. How I balance it is just being patient and being and time management, honestly. Running here, going there, back to here, you know, it's just about time management and a lot of prayer, brother. A lot of prayer, because it takes and we got 5 kids, you know, we've got one here at home still, the rest are gone. But man, whenever I was getting into the, you know, doing field trials and breeding and doing all this, you know, the kids were small and we were just stretched out. And I'm gonna tell you something else. Cannot do it. Let me tell you something. Got people call me and they'll say, hey, I've been thinking about starting a kennel. And what are some of the things that I need? And you're gonna love this. What are some of the things that I need to start this kennel? Well, I'm gonna tell you right quick. You need 3 things. 3 things. You need a good facility, good healthy facility. You need an extra $50,000 just laying around. Just an extra $50,000 just laying around. Oh, there's $50,000. I'm gonna get that and use it. You need that $50,000, and then try not to spend all that, because you're gonna need some more down the road. So you need that, and then, brother, you need a super understanding wife.
Boy. Woo, you gotta have one of those. Yeah.
You don't got that, you beat out the gate, you know. And you know, people think, oh, well, you know, the facility's not bad, I can get that. Facility's going to suck up a lot of your finances. The $50,000 is that extra beyond what it costs to get the facility going. And then the understanding why, brother, if you didn't have one of them before you started, you sure won't have one once you get going.
Yeah. Oh boy, you ain't lying. Yeah. But the wife thing, man. I'm so thankful for my wife, man. She let me take some chances. And I hadn't always, everything I tried to do ain't always worked, but the meat of the things, for the most part, has worked, and she's been very supportive of it. Everything. It's rare to have them type women these days. No offense. Yeah. No offense, ladies.
No offense. No, he didn't mean nothing by it, but if you come out to somebody, go to Arkansas.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, so
Yeah, my wife was just like, whenever I first started, because I wanted the registered kennel, I wanted a legit kennel. I didn't want to be a guy with dogs. I wanted to take this to the next level, and you can't do that on your own. Even if you don't have a wife, you can't do it on your own. You got to have somebody to help you.
You do.
The good Lord gives you enough sense to do it. You got to have enough sense to take the sense He gives you and go to people and say, hey, I need some help. What do I need to do here? How do I need to do this? What are the steps I need to take? That's just it, kind of in a nutshell. But with my wife, out of everybody that I could talk to and learn from and everything, like you said, taking those chances, buying this dog out of Canada, buying these dogs out of Canada, and then shipping this one in and getting that one shipped in, storing sperm and doing all of these different things. And God, I remember the days when we was raising pups and giving them away. Just let me know what you think of them. How's it going? And then I never forget. I love her to death. She said, you ain't never gonna make no money doing that. I said, well, there's not a lot of money in the dog business unless you in the dog business. And I'll be the first one to say, I don't pull my Lord's blessed me, and we've done well in the dog world. And I'm thankful for every client that we've got across the country. And we're on 3 different continents and in every state except for Hawaii. Never sent a pup to Hawaii. But I'm thankful for them all. But more than anything, outside of Christ is my wife. Even, it's like sandpaper, man.
Yep.
It might be a little bit rough. Wife might be a little rough on us. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? You know what that sandpaper does? It keeps us from getting rough and keeps us smooth. Right.
Yes,
so God designed it that way for us to work together. Right.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And the way they're made, the way they think of things, sometimes you can't see, and you need her perspective. And because they know you, they know you. You know what I mean? And so you really need that perspective. And boy, I really, man, I remember, I used to live a pretty fast life, and my pops, he say, man, he said, when you settle down and find you a good woman, everything's gonna change for you. It did.
That's right.
It's like
100%.
So that's everything.
And it counts just as much in the working world, career world, as and the dog world equally. It's all equal across the board.
Yes,
because our wives are our helpmeet, right? They're there to help us and to lift us up and encourage us. We're there to make sure that we nurture and provide for them and do the things that we need to do, because she's the flower of the house, right? The flower can't bloom, the flower can't grow and shine if you don't do some work around it, right? If you don't build it up, right? If you don't nurture it and take care of it. A gardener goes into the garden. He don't just walk by the flowers and spray them.
Right.
Water. He goes and he tills around them. He digs around them. He adds fertilizer to them, right? And so when that flower grows up and it blooms out, that's our wife, right?
Yes, sir.
And that flower, according to Scripture, that's God's glory, right? That flower radiates God's glory. Our wife should do the same thing.
That's right.
If we're doing our job, that's what'll happen.
Oh yeah, if you're doing your job, everything's okay. You know what I'm saying? And then I know the ladies like hearing this, but yeah, they are like, your wife is like a diamond. You know what I'm saying? You gotta search for it, boy. A good one, boy. Boy.
And then understand on that diamond note, we're gonna get into marriage counseling here, but
let's do
it. On that diamond note, when we find that diamond, we got to understand the amount of pressure that it took to create that diamond.
Yes.
And take care of it.
Yeah.
Keep it polished, keep it shining.
Right.
That's what you do, guys. There's your little bit of free advice.
There it is, because it's tough financial decisions together. We're dealing with dogs.
Yeah.
Loss, heartbreak. It's a lot of involvement, but family is everything.
Absolutely.
Man, let me get I want to talk a little bit about your breeding philosophy. let's see how I want to go with this. What does it look like? Do you do more? I know you probably do a lot of line breeding, but what does that look like? Is it to nephew, grandfather, everything?
Yeah, if needed, we'll
Yeah.
go that route. You know, I try to make the aunt to a nephew, uncle to a niece, the closest that I do. But on occasion, I will do a half brother and sister cross. You know, there, you know, in the right circumstances, and when the need is seen that you need that for your bloodline or for your kennel, the half brother sister is absolutely, you know, pull the pin, drop the grenade, let's see what happens kind of deal, you know, because it can blow up and blow wrong. You know, I've seen it go both ways. But I've also seen it, man, where you can't duplicate it. It's like, man, I wish I'd have done this 10 times, but you know what? You might have done it 10 times and only got the results one time out of 10. For that. Now there are guys out there, people, and I'm sure Branko and Frida would agree, that really do well with that really tighter line breeding. But once you come in tight like that, you got to go out. You got to loosen it up. You got to loosen up those genetics and get it out there. You know, I went to canine college through Royal Cane and AKC, and do their certification programs for whelping and medical canine medical intervention, nutrition, genetics, and DNA. And the one thing that I learned that I won't ever forget: if you don't open the gate and let them out, then they'll kill each other. That's genetics. If you don't open the gate somewhere, if you don't get a portal for them to hit the exit ramp, you fixing to have a daggone mess. You might get, because you're gonna whatever, when you gain, you're gonna lose at the same time. Let's say you gain confirmation, right? Perfect height, perfect length, perfect head, perfect chest, perfect air. The confirmation is perfect all the way around. Let's say you gain that and you got this picture perfect beagle. All right. But then you lose brains. What did you gain? What's the use of having something pretty with no brains?
Right.
I mean, I'd rather have something ugly with brains.
Right. Yeah.
Because that you like, when you start taking away intelligence, then and versatility, then you just got a pretty dog, you know, that drives you crazy.
How important is youth in breeding to you?
Well, you're going to get your stronger genetics in the younger dogs, right? In the younger years. The older dogs get, you have to be careful. This is why DNA testing is important, because as they get older and they get towards the end of their prime, which for a beagle is around about 8 years old. So their prime runs from like 3 years to 8 years. 8 years old is not old by no stretch of the imagination for a beagle, but genetic wise. So we're just looking at the genetics, right? It's kind of like the bottle of wine. The bottle may be the same age as the wine, but one of them is going to be more valuable than the other, right? So the older the wine, the better it is, right? The older the glass, it's just still glass.
Yeah.
All right. So the dog is carrying these genetics. The younger that they are, the more of that they're going to have.
Right.
As they get older, they stop passing on those same level of genetics as they get older. So youthful 2-year-old bitches, 1-year-old to 1.5-year-old males and up, you're going to get your best years of genetics being passed forward, good genetics being passed forward. As they get older, you're going to start to see a decrease in that. Just give you a case in point, AKC, when you get a male to a certain age and you breed him, they ask for you to do a DNA test so that they can take his DNA test and they can mirror that up and they can make sure that he's still passing on, making genetics that are going to make the breed better and not digressing or keeping it the same. They want it to always be moving forward.
Right.
You take a male that you breed a lot, you know, let's say you breed him 6, 7, 8 times in a year. They're going to send you a letter saying, hey, before you can register another litter,
Yep.
You need to do a DNA test on this highly used male of yours, right? So, so that's important. So youth is very valuable and it's very important to a breeding program.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to somebody about that today, and we were discussing like you might could do the same breeding a few years down the road and kind of see differences in the puppies. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So man, I'm gonna get ready and let you go because you know what I got to go do.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you coming, and but the future of your kennel program, what's going on? What do you expect? Where you want to be?
Well, right now we're in the process, as far as the kennel as a whole. Right now we're in the process of expanding more into the obedience training program, bringing on a grooming program as well, and then also boarding. So we're actually building on right now, doing that exact thing, so that we can offer different levels of services to both the hunting world and the pet world. So the grooming is a big deal. Boarding is a big deal here in North Carolina, and then of course obedience training. And I want to swing hard into that. I've been doing it for a while, but I want to swing hard into that in 2026. That's my goal for this year. As far as my breeding program, I brought in a different color beagle, which is a lemon and white beagle. And so I'm going to do my best to try to get to a baseline where I can breed and produce lemon and white out of every litter, but not sacrificing intelligence or conformation or anything along the way. Not to confuse that with designer breeds. The lemon and white is the most rare color of beagle in the United States. And so I just want to bring that in because there is a market for it, for one. And two, I remember, my uncles and stuff and the old timers back in the 80s, I remember them having whole kennels full of lemon and white beagles, right? I mean, like they were everywhere back in the 80s. And then all of a sudden they just disappeared. And I didn't know why. But my father-in-law, Ted Klontz, he is an old beagler, right? He's like, I don't know if he's 80 yet, but he's knocking on 80, right? And he and I were talking when I got into this color, and I asked him why they went away. What happened to them? And it came down to the field trial and the AKC field trial. If you had a lemon and white dog, the judges would see that dog before they seen anything else. And so their eye would get on. So what happened is guys started breeding for the black and tan color. And now you go to a field trial and every dog there was black and tan.
Yeah.
So you can't tell who's who, what's what, except for the color collar that they have around their neck.
Right.
And
that's
so
true.
He said that's why they done that. That's why they went away from the yellow and white, or excuse me, the lemon and white. And that's why it's so hard to find.
So speaking on color, y'all got reds, lemon and whites, and what else?
Blue.
Blue.
You got blue. You got tri blues. You got blue ticks. You got white ticks. White with black ticks. You got red ticks. Black and tans. Then you got black, tan, and white. You got foam, black and white. You got you got white. I mean,
I got
it's everything out there. Now, me personally, mine in tricolor and open mark tricolor is what I like the best. For me, that's what I like. I'm not a big red dog fan or even a blue dog fan. I've got a blue dog, but I'm not a big fan as far as that color. You watch any of my videos on Facebook or TikTok or YouTube, and main thing you're going to see are going to be them tricolor beagles, because that's what I like.
Yep. All right, Pastor, let me ask you some quick fire questions.
All right, go ahead.
All right, and then we're gonna get up out of here. So, what is the best rabbit sitting weather? High humidity or a crisp frost?
Man, you can't ask that question no rapid fire. take in dew point. You got to take in the temperature, everything. But I would say from my dogs, versatility allows it to not matter whether it's wet ground or froze ground. What matters is your air quality.
Okay. Right. Okay. So one word to describe a Cottonville Road puppy.
Happy.
Happy. Cool. All right. If you can hunt with your father one more time, which dog of yours would you show him?
If she was still around, it'd be my Maggie dog.
Maggie.
But she passed on. But as far as living right now, would be my winter dog.
Winter dog. Okay, cool.
She's
all right, Pastor, man. I appreciate you. Let them know how to get in touch with you.
Yeah, guys. So if you want to get up with me, you can go to Facebook, Cottonville Road Kennels. You can go to TikTok, Cottonville Road Kennels. You can go to the internet, find our website at cottonvilleroad.com. And you can just Google Cottonville Road Kennels, and all of that same stuff will pop up for you.
All right, man. I appreciate it. That was a good one.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it too. God bless you.
God bless. Give your dog the best start possible. We offer proven tools, products, and supplements backed by our real-world experience and our passion for healthy dogs.